I'm Lauren from Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D., a podcast member of the GonnaGeek network, just like the one you're listening to now. The opinions expressed are those of each individual. Check out all the other podcasts at GonnaGeekNetwork.com and get ready because geekiness begins in 3, 2, 1.
You are listening to the Starling Tribune, a podcast dedicated to the Arrow TV show.
This guy gets more airtime than the Kardashians, right?
This podcast is not produced or maintained by the CW, Warner Brothers Television, CTV, or DC Comics. All characters, situations, and stories are the properties of Time Warner. I am the Oracle, and this is your Tribune.
And your reporters for this penultimate special Summer Blab Preseason 4 3D Printing Cosplay edition of the Starling Tribune, covering off-season developments and announcements leading up to Season 4. I am Stargate Pioneer. My friends call me SP. And with me are Chris.
Well, you know us billionaire vigilantes. We do love our toys.
And Michael.
Diggle joined the X-Men.
And of course, I am SP. More Felicity incoming soon. Yay! This podcast was recorded on Friday, September 25th, 2015. We're just a few guys that love to discuss the TV show Arrow. Just a little reminder that I am not, sadly, a comic expert. I'm more of a sci-fi guy, but I'm catching up with the great comic lore, and a little bit of thanks to folks like Chris.
Yeah, I read way too many comics, although to be fair, I'm like 2 months behind and going to pick up my pull list from my local store. So I probably got a stack about like this to go pick up.
They still have it. Yep.
No, they still have it because my guy called me or sent me a text saying, "Hey, when are you coming to get comics?" And I was like, "Oh, crap, comics. Yes, I need to do that."
Pay me my money. And also enjoying the fandom with great guys like Michael.
Oh, thank you, sir. Yeah, I'm a little behind on my comic books too. I've been catching up just really with the shows and reading all the information on the websites.
Comixology has been phenomenal for me. I really, and the various comic readers I have. I've got a Surface RT. I've got an iPad Mini. I got laptops. I'm comic galore. I just need the time to read them.
You know, I can't get into digital comics. There's something about it. I need to turn the page.
Well, great that you said that, because right now, as you see, I do have paper comic copies, and I also have a stack of Arrow that's right back there as well. So got lots of stuff to do. So we needed to get together again to talk about Arrow. It's been a couple of weeks, and we're just going to talk about the general impressions we have for Season 4. Michael has not had a chance to weigh in on stuff right now, and also little teaser, little tidbit, Michael may or may not be working for the show, because he has an awesome little thing that he's developing right now. You want to share a little bit about what it is?
Sure. It's a special cosplay that I'm making for me. It's actually going to be my first personal cosplay, and I plan to have it for New York Comic Con. And it's a suit from Arrow. I don't know if you want me to say more than that, but
yeah, go ahead. You can say whatever you want to.
So it's the A.T.O.M suit from Arrow.
Sweet. Oh,
yeah,
that's sweet.
And it's going. Actually, I don't know how it would work to show a picture to the camera. I don't know if that would that be okay?
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, sure. it's your stuff. If you want to reveal it, sure. Go ahead.
So I could let you guys on a little sneak peek what I have so far, which is the whole chest piece and ab section.
Oh, that's cool.
There you go.
That's amazing. Nice paint job. And you did it. Okay, so explain to a little bit of people how this came about. What's the process of you actually making it? Because it's not just like you pick up Amazon.com and you order it, right? You actually have to create this.
Yeah, so how we would normally do it is I'd sit down and I would kind of get the project ready and start a basic layout of the model. In this case, I worked with Dutch Props, which is a friend of mine from the Netherlands, and he kind of helped me design the suit. And things that I didn't like, I asked him to change, and we went back and forth a bunch of times until we got something that was right. So once I get the model that's right, I have to, set up the printer and print up the parts in the exact orientation that's going to be best for the cleanup. And the cleanup involves, filler primer, Bondo, sanding, filler primer, Bondo, sanding until you get a nice, smooth, surface that you can lay some paint on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of finish work that goes on. It's not just the printer doesn't do it all. It's not like a replicator where you say
it'd be nice if it did it all.
I've actually made a lot of replicated chips.
Right. So are you gonna make some nanites to actually go in and do the wet sanding for you?
That'd be a good idea. Not yet. It's not up there yet. Technology's coming soon.
So you're going to be at New York Comic Con. I haven't talked to you about this, but a co-host of mine on Voices of Defiance, it's a podcast on GonnaGeek that talks about the sci-fi show Defiance. Right now, since we're kind of in limbo, we don't know if the show's going to be picked up or not. Shannon, a co-host of mine, and I are podcasting the final 6 episodes of Continuum. We've done the first 2. There's 4 more left. We're doing the American release schedule. So right now, actually, tonight, Continuum is airing its 3rd of its final 6. Up in Canada, they're on number 4. Anyway, so she is going to go to New York Comic Con. And I said, if you can link up with Michael Ruddy, I want you to get a picture with the Atom suit. She's, ooh, the Atom suit? That's going to be so cool. So, yeah, well, I'll have to link you up so she can get a picture. Are you going to be there Saturday? That's when she's going to be there.
I should be there every day.
Okay.
That's my plan, to see if the wife lets me. But
got to get the weekend hall pass, right?
Exactly.
All right. So you got this Atom suit. You're going to make it for the Comic-Con, but it's not just for New York Comic-Con, right? You're going to actually have that for quite a bit, right?
Yeah, that's actually I'm talking to a company, Matter Hackers, who supplied me with the filament, and they want me to come to CES with them. And
that would be awesome.
Yeah,
a free CES trip? You're kidding.
No joke.
So I'm trying to get the time off of work, and like you said, get another hall pass with the wife because she's not too into my cosplay, Comic-Con stuff.
She just tell her this is like an advertisement.
She doesn't understand. I said it's CES. She's like, "What is that?" She doesn't even care.
Oh, it's like the best toy show ever for techies.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And it's and it's been a dream of mine to go to CES for a long time.
You've got to do it
just to see the video, and I don't even have to work. They just want me to walk around. So I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll
That's
go."
perfect. You get to walk around and go look at cool toys.
Yep.
Are they going to give you a free hotel room?
I'm trying to work out a deal with them.
Okay.
Right now, I definitely have a free pass and a free space at their booth.
Oh man!
So I'm trying to work out, but I have some friends with buddy passes and hotel hookups. So everything all the stars have to align for the trip to actually come to fruition.
Right.
Well, my fingers are crossed for you, man. I'm so jealous.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if you go, I might actually have to swing by.
Oh, definitely.
We'll see. So you've got that going on. You've actually already done some other props and art pieces. Like, I don't know if it was from Arrow. I meant to ask you earlier, but I did see that bow that you had printed off. Is that from Arrow or is that from something else?
That bow was actually from the game Thief. Okay. But I actually made an Arrow Season 1 bow out of the actual we have there's a Facebook group called Emerald Archers.
Oh yeah.
And they're all about Arrow cosplay and Arrow getting everything accurate from the show. So they have a whole list of all the actual items that's made from the Season 1 bow. So, and all the instructions on how to do it. So I made my bow from there. It came out pretty great.
Nice. That's awesome.
I don't have it. I actually had to sell it.
I know, but you still have the plans though, I assume, right?
Oh yeah, I have old pictures. It came out beautiful. I broke my heart when I had to sell it.
Yeah, well, I might know somebody that might be ordering one for Christmas.
Yeah, okay, sounds good.
We may or may not know somebody that might actually enjoy it. That's great. Now, is it a collapsible one or is it just the big one?
The one that I did was from Season 1 when he was on the island bow. Yeah,
okay.
In the green case.
Yeah.
To me, that's the bow that looks good anyway, because that bow has character. I don't really like the new bow.
It looks like a robotic thing, actually.
Looks like Tony Stark made it now.
I know.
Well, they only showed in the one episode with at least from what I remember, the collapsible. I think it was episode 1 of season 3, right?
3, yep.
Yeah, and I think it got a lot of blowback, and I think they kind of got rid of it. I guess they were kind of testing the waters out a little bit.
Or they just don't show the fact it does that anymore. I'm not sure what route they're going, but yeah, I understand why some people kind of had a little heartburn because like, well, this isn't really what I'm used to. He needs to carry the bow on like his back or on the bike.
And wasn't he supposed to be broke too at that point? So how did he get money to buy?
Well, I think how they justified that is they said he's broke for a billionaire. So he's still got a crap ton of money in comparison to the rest of us, but in billionaire terms, he's broken.
Yeah,
or broke rather.
So now we have firmly established that you have watched the show since season 1 into season 3. So you have seen all the episodes, right?
Yeah, definitely. Season 3 for me was kind of a letdown.
Really?
You're not alone on that one. I think a lot of people felt similar.
I think especially because season 1 of Flash came out, and season 1 of Flash was so phenomenal. I think, and it made Arrow kind of like paled in comparison.
Right.
I think what hurt in season 3 is that you didn't have the big bad and Slade that you had in this season. Slade was just built up over so much time. You were invested in that character, and Manu Bennett just rocked it.
Oh yeah, he was great. The whole show was like a Spartacus reunion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but without season 3 of Arrow and without the Flash, we wouldn't be getting Legends of Tomorrow in the off season coming up.
True.
So
Very true.
I tend to think, sometimes you got to suffer a little pain. You wouldn't have gotten to All Good Things in Star Trek had you not had Encounter at Farpoint.
Well, yeah. Well,
I had to say it. I almost threw up in my mouth a little bit right before I said it.
Please, no one misconstrue the fact that I'm like, oh, season 3 was terrible. We didn't need it. No, it just wasn't as good in comparison. Season 3 was still fun. I don't want to come off as someone who's like, oh, this sucks. I quit. No. It was good. It's just not as good as my expectations had been because they got ramped up so much.
Now,
that
Chris
being said, it's better than 90% of what's on TV.
Right. Now, Chris and I have had off-mic conversations with some of our co-hosts, and we're actually thinking that season 4 of Starling Tribune of Arrow is going to be a notch better than season 2 of Flash. And we just think that Mark Guggenheim has stepped in. He's like, I can't let this go away. I need to ramp up the game. And they've seen what worked with Flash, so they're going to retool Arrow a little bit. I'm thinking that it's going to benefit from what happened with Arrow.
Well, I wonder if since the portal opened and they have said they're kind of bringing Earth 2 right to Flash, right. I wonder if it's going to carry over to Arrow at all. I wonder if something's going to come through there.
Right. So I was talking about the production teams behind the scene, but you're talking about the storyline. Yeah, who knows what's going to happen because all these shows are supposed to interconnect, right? Supergirl, Legends of Tomorrow, Flash, and Arrow, and what's that cartoon? I keep forgetting the name of it. Vixen. So they're all supposed to interconnect, and I don't know how they're going to do that with Flash this year.
Well, we already know it's happening. We'll get to that in the news, but they are doing crossovers again, and Stephen Amell teased on Twitter for anyone who paid attention.
Well, Diggle's helmet, I read, is actually comes from Star Labs.
Okay.
That's pretty cool. So the helmet might have some features that, it might not just be a helmet to protect. Maybe it has some cool little features.
See, I thought it came from the Marvel Cinematic or from the Marvel Universe.
I thought it was made by the Russians, yes. Which is where Magneto's helmet came from.
I follow the prop master who actually made the helmet and designed it.
Yeah.
And he's actually in that Emerald Archers Facebook group too.
Oh,
and,
cool.
He wasn't too happy that a lot of people compared it to Magneto's helmet. I know you guys spoke about this the last podcast, but he was saying that it was really designed after the Spartan helmets.
I could see that.
I could see it too, yeah.
But the first picture I saw was without the sides and with the goggles on, and it looked like something straight out of Speed Racer.
Yeah.
Those early, late 70s cartoons and stuff like that. I was like, oh my gosh, this is not it. And then I think I've only seen that picture once or twice back then. And then they came out with the ones on the sides and everything, and it was like, it looks so much like Magneto. I'm like, oh.
I think it had to do with really bad photoshopping too. The way they put it together.
I think when we see it on screen, we'll probably see it in action. I think it's going to change a lot of opinions. And to be fair, a lot of fandom is quick to just jump on things and not necessarily like it.
Like I don't really like the new Arrow suit. I don't really like it. With the shoulder pads and like the bare arms. I don't know. I'm not feeling it.
It reminds me of a little bit more of the Smallville type Arrow costume.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I don't know. I think it's one of those things that's going to grow on me, which is why I really haven't said much about it because the first costume became near iconic just because of the way it was.
Yeah.
I watched one episode of Smallville, and it was with Wing. And it was because he wanted to do a podcast, a Starling Tribune off-season podcast on other appearances of the Green Arrow. So I was like, oh my gosh. Oh my. I'm so glad I did not watch the show because it would have ruined Arrow for me. I would be like, comic book show, But the first thing I saw was Arrow because Wing said, you need to watch this, and I did, and fell in love with it. So that's great. But yeah, that small that costume was just it's just, I guess it's a little bit truer to the comics, the way the character played it, whatever. But I like Stephen Amell better. I'd cross the street for him.
Well, this is a different kind of Green Arrow you have here. And in fact, this character, this new version on TV has become so well liked that the comic book version now more reflects what's on Arrow than what it was originally.
Yeah.
Yeah. So do you want to go back into the previous 3 seasons and tell what your highlights are, what you like about the show the best? We already heard that you didn't like season 3 as much.
I guess the best part of season 1 for me was that I was never really a big I knew of Green Arrow, but I never really read the comics. So just kind of learning of the character, even though I'm pretty sure the story's a little different, but just learning the character and see what they did with it. And the big lead up to season 2. Season 2 is by far the best season for me. Because Slade, he made that whole, like you said, he was the big bad,
The back half of season 2 was some of the most fun I've had in TV, just because it built up so well. You had that ominous villain that you're like, oh my God, what is he going to do now?
And Sarah Lance was hot. So
there's that too.
Yeah.
Thank God she's coming back.
Yeah. I don't know how you guys feel, but I'm tired of seeing Felicity in dresses. Can I see her in like some pants like once in a while? She always has these nice little dresses. I mean, come on.
I want to see her how she was shown in Star Labs.
Look, guys, the dresses is the whole CW effect. They've got to pretty everyone up, so that's part of what they're going to do. We got to remember sometimes it's a CW show.
Yeah, but I don't know. To me, it doesn't seem practical all the time to have her in a dress and heels, she should be ready for some type of combat just in case.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
She was in the workout garb. I think that looks well on her too.
SP knows. He has pictures of it hanging on his wall.
I think anything will work. They should change the name to Felicity Smoking, man, because she's super hot, man.
Yeah,
she is. So my wife and my daughters both watch the show. So I've got 3 women in the house that watch the show, and they're not watching it for the comic book stuff. They're watching it for the abs, and they're watching it for the CW drama, the love stories and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's a little bit different viewership, and I can't argue with it. If we can all enjoy the same stuff, then
everyone gets something to enjoy in this TV show.
Yeah,
the ladies get Stephen Amell's abs, and sometimes the dudes do because, man, I wish my abs looked like that.
That's how I feel. I get depressed.
Yeah, man, the guy's a machine. He's not Chris Hemsworth, but he's close.
Or Chris Evans.
I think he's better than Chris Evans.
Yeah, I don't know. Chris Evans is pretty jacked. Look at the Captain America photos from Avengers and the recent one.
Yeah,
look at Haley Atwell's response in the first Captain America movie. That's completely ooh.
Yeah, totally ad-lib. They took the first take because it was like the best reaction. She was like, "Oh, I didn't even know I touched him," and then we just played with it, and they took the take. That was great. They said, "Did you hear her?" She said, It was in one of the Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. Podcasts that we did on one of her interviews, and she said, or one of her panels at one of the cons last year, and she said that they did like 50 more takes, and they were like, we're just going to take the first one. So
nice.
They had to play back and forth. And before that scene, she was saying Chris was pumping up with like 500 push-ups he would look swole for the role.
That's what I do too. Every once in a while.
But Amell, man, the guy, he doesn't have to. The guy is stacked all the time. It's great. He's active. He's great with the charities, as most of these comic book actors are. As a face of a franchise, I think CW did well in casting him, even if they backed into it. So that was all cool.
Well, I mean, he's helped launch how many other shows now on their network?
Yeah. Well, and he brought back Constantine. I think he personally did that.
Well, and look at the CW upfronts from the past couple years. Like the first year when Arrow was out, didn't get much mentioned. The recent 2 years of upfronts, Stephen Amell is front and center for the CW upfronts now.
He's not going to, as of right now, he's not going to be in New York Comic Con, which is surprising because last year he was there for the panel, photo ops, and signatures.
That really is surprising. He makes the rounds.
Yeah, it might be a shooting conflict because going from Vancouver all the way to New York and back, he might not be able to do it with the schedule.
Yeah. Well, Legends of Tomorrow is going to be there, so I'm hoping they'll be active. I'm hoping to have the suit ready, so if I could see some of them, I might be able to con them into signing a part of the suit, and then I'll just hang that up and remake that part. That'd be
there. You go. Is Brandon Routh supposed to be there for?
All they said is Legends of Tomorrow, so I'm not sure.
Man, that would be so cool if Brandon Routh was there with you in the Atom suit.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. You could offer to make him an Atom suit too, so you can have one at home.
I just don't want to stand next to him because he'll tower over me. I mean, I'm not as big as him. So.
The dude is Superman. I mean, what can you say? He even plays this role as Superman.
No, he's Special Agent Daniel Shaw.
That too. And Chuck was great up until the wedding, and then after that, it's dead to me.
I don't want to talk about the final episode of Chuck. I haven't recovered from it yet.
Yeah, so there's a bunch of... Okay, so we can go there. Eventually, we were thinking this show's got at least 5 years in it because of the 5 years on the island, but we're thinking that they're going to start splitting up the last 2 years or whatever. So I'm thinking Mark Guggenheim had like a 7 to 10 year plan on Arrow here. And what do you guys think? What is the plan for how long the show's going to last?
I think, like you said, 6 or 7 years. To me, the way season 3 ended should have been the way the series ended. Like, to me, it was like, what's going on here? Like, is this over? Did I not miss that they're coming back? Because he ended like a happy ending driving into the sunset. That kind of bothered me.
Now, if you look at the ratings, they're not phenomenal ratings, right? They're not Walking Dead numbers. They're not Game of Thrones numbers. And for
like you said, it's CW show.
It's on the CW. They're good for the CW.
Right. And as Wing pointed out many times when we were podcasting season 1, he's like, dude, this show has a $2 million budget an episode. And if they get 2 million viewers, that's an equal 1-to-1 ratio that the CW is happy with. And they're getting more than that, but they are getting swamped by the network shows. Like Gotham, what did Gotham get like its first week? It's like 20 million viewers or something stupid like that.
And it sucks. I stopped watching it.
Yeah, you've also got to consider that Arrow is kind of a grassroots thing. It started out small, and I don't know. I wish we had the numbers for how much they got like episode downloads off of iTunes, the CW app, things like that. Because I think that's how a lot more people in today's world are consuming, is they download it after the fact or they watch it online. And our rating systems don't really accommodate that. The rating systems are designed for, hey, I watched on TV.
I had to buy the all 3 seasons because as we were catching up, I had to buy first and second season, and then my wife, after the 3rd season, said, "Yeah, I want to watch the 3rd season." I'm like, "Oh, you're killing me! You're killing me!"
They know when you DVR it though that they're able to count that into the mix.
Yeah, right. Live plus 7 though. That's all they count.
Yeah.
So, and I watch it twice before we podcast, so I'm responsible for at least 2 of those numbers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really concerned that the ratings in comparison to other network shows are low because, like we said earlier, for a CW show, the ratings are pretty rock solid. And like I said earlier, Stephen Amell is everywhere on the CW. It's not going anywhere.
Well, also, everybody knows Batman and Bruce Wayne, so that already piqued everybody's interest. No one knows who Oliver Queen is,
Yeah. Especially in comparison. I mean, that gets you into the whole argument. I think Zack Snyder said something to the effect of like Ant-Man being the flavor of the week and that Batman v Superman is going to trounce it. Well, obviously, Batman v Superman, everyone knows who those characters are.
Yeah. But I'm sick of all these DC movies, especially Batman Superman, talking when they haven't even produced a movie yet. Produce it and then, then you could talk crap.
Well, it did make one that I wasn't a fan of, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Okay, so did you see Ant-Man in the theater, Michael?
Yeah, twice.
Okay, so the previews the first time that I saw it in the theater, I saw the preview for Star Wars, which the theater erupted. Now, the Star Wars preview had been out for quite a while, and so it came up, and it was everybody was like, oh yeah, even people like me that had seen the trailer before. It was the first time I saw it on the big screen, so I was really excited about that. The Batman versus Superman trailer came out. I'm not kidding. It was crickets. And they had like a 30-second amount of silence before they rolled the next trailer, I think thinking they were going to get a big fan reaction.
Yeah.
Nobody cared. They're like, whatever. And that's how I feel about it. Now, our co-host on the podcast, Mr. Nightwing, would firmly argue with us on this, but I'm not really looking forward to this movie.
It's just a different style of superheroes, basically. Some people like them super serious. Other people like them where they're more lighthearted and having fun and stuff.
I think it has a lot to do with, too, they've been talking about it for so long that, like, the hype has died down. You know, like, I remember, almost 2 years ago at Comic-Con, they were talking about it. And the movie's that's not even out yet. And they have announced and showed so much images and stuff from the movie. It's like, why are you doing that? Like, you're building hype, but the hype is going to die down before the movie even gets released.
Well, I mean, I'm not super concerned if I was them because it's got Batman in it. We already know that since it's Batman, there's a crap ton of people that are going to go and see it. In fact, even DC knows it because the current rumors coming out is that Henry Cavill's Superman role keeps becoming less and less in Batman v Superman. It's more of Superman on the back burner with a lot of Batman.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
We'll see.
I'm not hating.
I'm going to see it. I'm not like dying to see it, but I'm definitely going to see it. I see all the movies in the theater.
Yeah, I mean, the thing it suffers from is I can't think past much of anything besides Star Wars right now.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is for me. Someone's like, hey, this is coming out. I'm like, is it Star Wars? It's like, no. I'm like, I don't care then.
You know what, though? I'm going to break the mold a little bit. This movie, The Martian, kind of snuck up on me. It was not on my radar. And then I saw the first previews trailers for it a couple of weeks ago. I'm like, oh, I can't wait. And I was like, is it this weekend? No, it's next weekend. As we're actually recording this, it will premiere a week from today. And I can't wait till next weekend because I will go out and watch that.
SP, read the book first.
Okay.
That's what everyone has said on The Martian. In fact, they said, I want to see it. And people are like, don't even watch the trailer because it spoils things out of the book. I'm like, okay, I'm not even watching it.
Well,
I want to see it really bad.
I like Starship Troopers, and I've never read the Starship Troopers.
Oh my God, the book is so much better than the movie.
And I hear that, Troopers. But everybody that's read the book said, the movie's crap. I don't want to see the movie again. I'm like,
no, it's not crap. It's just different.
Yeah. Well, so, okay, you might have swung me. I'll have to find time to read the book.
But it's on the Kindle store. It'll be on sale probably.
It's short.
Get the audiobook.
There you go.
Yeah, because I have so much time to listen to audiobooks because I'm so far behind on my podcasts.
Let's see. The Martian is $9 on paperback, and it is $0 for Kindle Unlimited subscribers.
Oh.
No, wait. Yeah, 0 for Kindle subscribers.
Wow.
Assuming I'm reading that right. There's all sorts of fake summary and analysis books that say they're free. Kindle edition, $9. I apologize.
All right. So, okay, that's way off topic. So, Star Wars is coming up, and I am enthralled with it. I agree with you, Chris. It is the movie that I'm looking forward to seeing at this point in time, and then after that, Civil War is what I'm looking forward to. But Batman versus Superman, all right, enough said about that.
No, because no one bothers me, and I get fights with everybody about this. In the real, it's sad to say in the real world, but in the real world, Superman would kick the crap out of Batman. There's no contest. I don't know it's Batman. Who cares? Superman could go in space, drop a truck, or drop a building on him.
Right. Everyone always brings up Dark Knight Returns for why Batman would win. And the point in Dark Knight Returns is Superman doesn't want to beat the crap out of him.
Yeah, that's true.
That's why Batman wins in Dark Knight Returns.
Well, isn't Batman v Superman based on Dark Knight Returns?
Supposedly, they took a lot of the source material from that and put it in that. In fact, some of the shots in the trailer are straight out of Dark Knight Returns. It's really cool. I mean, I love seeing that homage because I love that book. Now, don't get me started on Dark Knight Strikes Again. It's absolute crap. Yeah. And Dark Knight 3 is probably going to be terrible, too, because I don't know if you guys knew, they're doing the third in the series by Frank Miller, where he's writing, and I can't remember who's doing the artwork.
How do you guys feel about all the the recasting of like the TV actors or TV characters to the movies, because that bothers me too.
I think they're missing out on a great opportunity because they have great ambassadors for their brand and Grant Gustin and Stephen Amell. And it's, we're going to keep those separate when these guys have followings. Look at their, I mean, I hate to be the guy that says this, but look at their social media following and how they interact with fans. The fans love Stephen Amell and Grant Gustin. They're always interacting with them. These guys are smart. They know how to reach back out to their fans. So they have a very active fan base that get them into things, and fans get revved up for things. And I think a lot of people are going to take some umbrage with the fact that, Grant Gustin's not the Flash. What the hell? He is my Flash.
I think that Warner Brothers was taken really by surprise at how well these shows were doing, and they already had a plan in motion, and they just didn't have the cojones to flip it over. It's just the way the marketing was from the beginning. Because take a look at the previous rounds of comic book shows. Like I was saying before, Smallville. I'm glad I didn't watch it, and you look
at 10 seasons, didn't it?
It did, but you move forward and you get Arrow. Arrow was the first modern comic book show that was amazing, and it's here, and it was already a year or two through the planning of this Justice League universe that Warner Brothers is putting together. So they did not sway from that plan. Now, if you take a look at the Marvel, on the other hand, they had their MCU plan set from the beginning. They didn't know if it was going to pan out, but it was their plan from the beginning. So they knew what they were going to do. And Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. came out of Clark Gregg's popularity. Yeah. And, Warner Brothers doesn't have that because they've already made that cut between the movie universe and the TV universe, which is unfortunate. But yes, I agree. I wish they would combine back and forth, and they're just not doing it.
It's just like you said, it's a wasted opportunity because these guys spent all this time, freaking showing your characters and people starting to love them, and now you just throwing them out. That doesn't make sense. Doesn't make no sense.
I mean, it's just the other method of how things work in this world. It is what it is. I think it's the way the universes work, having everything connected and then having another one where there's a separate TV and movie thing. I don't think it's necessarily bad. It's just different. I wish they were connected because I really enjoy the guys I see on the small screen, and I would love to see them on the big screen.
Right. I think everybody would. But it's just unless they do TV movies, that's a possibility.
Oh, I can definitely see that.
Although I would argue that maybe Legends of Tomorrow is kind of their version of the TV miniseries, TV movie sort of thing. We'll see. With a revolving cast every year.
Yeah, who do you have an official team? Because when we see the previews for Legends of Tomorrow, I saw Flash. You see Flash in that one scene when they're fighting everybody in that factory and the robot pops through. Maybe he's a special guest star for that episode.
Yeah, my guess is for the pilot, they probably brought in the big hitters. That's why they had Stephen Amell and Grant Gustin doing the intros in the pilot, and you might have more of Grant Gustin actually playing a role in the first episode.
And I heard something that Ronnie isn't going to be in the show, that they might cast somebody else for Firestorm, a different Firestorm.
See, I'd heard that rumor too, is that Ronnie will be in Flash for part of the season and then not be there anymore, but Victor Garber's character will still be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've lost the opportunity with Arsenal as well because the actor left for other opportunities, which, okay, at some point in time you have and I talked to the showrunner for Defiance, and he mentioned this, that at some point in time you have characters that you want to bring forward and you can't because they're being swallowed up by the characters that you've already cast as the main group. So unless you can write some of those characters out and then bring some of those secondary characters up, they're always going to be on that second level. So as an actor, you have to make a choice on whether you want to stick around and you want to make that chance that you're actually going to be pushed to the front, or are you going to leave for other opportunities which you might be able to highlight somewhere else?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that in his particular case, he did an economic analysis and said, I did great things on the 100 or whatever he was on. It was 100, right?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, and I'm playing second fiddle here, and I know I'm getting all these offers, so I might as well take one while I'm in my youth prime. And it's hard to argue with that. So
Yeah, but he did that. He was on Teen Wolf, and I think he did that for Teen Wolf too. He left Teen Wolf to go to Arrow. And I don't know if they killed his character in Teen Wolf or he decided to leave and not re-up his contract.
So I don't watch Teen Wolf, but my understanding was that his character was written out temporarily, and he actually came back for an episode while Arrow was going on, or something to that effect. I don't know if anyone watches Teen Wolf. Feel free to correct me on that.
I watch Teen Wolf.
Well, he's not done with the DC universe. They can bring him back at any point in time. It's just going to be as a one-off or whatever.
It'll cost more money.
Yeah. But it would have been nice to see him with Legends of Tomorrow. That you mentioned that. I didn't even think about him.
Oh, there's no reason they can't. I mean, I'm sure they'll figure out some way to do it.
That was the early speculation, is that they were going to do that, and they just didn't do it. So, okay, getting back to your bread and butter, Michael, if you could, I know you've got the Atom suit going on, and I know you do a ton of stuff for the Flash, right? You get the Flash emblems, stuff like that. If there was one other thing from the Arrow TV show besides the Atom suit, what would it be that you haven't made yet that you would want to make?
Ooh, I actually played around with making the collapsible bow, trying to get the, because you have to make it functional. I wanted to make it open and close.
Yeah, and
it wouldn't really be, you couldn't really shoot an arrow out of it, but there had to be a way.
Well, they're all CGI arrows anyway. So.
Yeah, but I mean, and I was working with one of my friends who was an engineer, and we were trying to figure out, could it be possible? Because you can make all the moving parts you want with the 3D printer, So we were trying to work that out. We put that on the back burner, but I would love to do that. That's pretty cool. Because imagine just walking in and everyone go crazy.
Oh, that'd be badass.
If you could include the sound effects too, that'd be great.
Yeah. Well, I have a bunch of the trick arrowheads too that I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have the boxing arrow glove?
Nope. Definitely. Once when we move, we're working on getting the house. The man cave is gonna have all the arrows on the wall, the bow.
Oh, that'll be cool.
Right now, this is my man cave, the back, the back hallway when nobody's here. This is where the boiler is.
It works.
You see my man cave. This is as big as it is.
That's it.
So that would be cool. And you've got me thinking about a bunch of stuff then. But okay, so the boxing glove arrow was amazing. What's your favorite trick arrow?
Ooh. I mean, to me, I haven't really been impressed with a lot of the trick arrows. Besides, I like the electrocution one. That was pretty cool. Like that taser one.
And to be fair, they haven't done a ton of trick arrows on the TV show. There's a couple, like the repelling arrow, or that has like the pretty much like Batman grapple launcher. Or they've had the boxing glove arrow, which was kind of a joke.
Yeah, I made a bunch of Captain Boomerangs.
Oh, that's badass.
So that was pretty cool.
I'll bet. Nice.
I do want to make it's more of the Flash side, but Captain Cold's gun. I have plans to make that.
I literally just thought of that as you talked about Captain Boomerangs. I'm like, ooh, the Captain Cold gun and the Heatwave guns would also be really cool to see.
And you would be all hooked up with the LEDs and stuff like that.
And all the stuff that you've made so far can be found on Facebook at Hero Complex Props, right?
Yep, Hero Complex Props.
All right.
Which it makes me angry because my page was something else before.
Yes.
And then I changed the name, but you can't change the URL.
Oh, no.
Once you get the URL, that's it. Yeah, it's complex 3D printing or something like that, right?
I don't even know what it was.
Or cosplay 3D printing, or
something like that. It was something really generic that I had to think of on the spot because everybody was telling me you got to make a page, and I was like, oh, pressure, and I just did whatever, So.
Well, if you ever need help to actually get a website up and going, we know a few people that could help you with that.
I'm scared because I know a lot of prop makers who got cease and desist letters. From their Etsy stores or their official web pages.
Yeah.
So if I just have like a hobby page, where people can buy little random things, I don't think it's going to be an issue. But if I ever open a real website, you might get it might get hit.
You absolutely would. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, well, DC's been pretty fiercely defending some of their IP lately. Same with Marvel too.
Right. Okay, so we have a few news stories, Chris, right?
I had some stuff queued up, and some of it's just speculation.
Okay. Well, what's the first thing we got?
So I guess the big thing is, I think it was yesterday that Grant Gustin and Stephen Amell both tweeted some pictures. One of which was both of them wearing dark suits on the set of presumably either Arrow or The Flash. We don't know which. And Stephen Amell basically just said game-changing scenes are fun and showed them in dark suits. So the question I have for you is, are they killing someone? And if so, who are they killing?
Ooh.
John Barrowman.
No!
I love him.
You can't kill Jack Harkness. He's immortal.
Well, Jack Harkness is, but
John Barrowman is Jack Harkness.
He makes me love him so much. I don't know. That's just coming from Torchwood.
Yes.
So I don't think I've ever seen him again in anything. And then when he was in this, I just want to hug him.
He is a guy that has so much fun doing all of this stuff. You see him at the conventions, and he's just having a blast. I think there was one convention he came out wearing a TARDIS skirt, which everyone laughed at Dragon Con. I do another podcast. One of our guest hosts on there, Michelle, was working one of the booths. He came to go get laced up into a corset. So there's pictures of her lacing him into a corset at Dragon Con because he wanted to wear one. It's just crazy stuff. John Barrowman goes out there and just has fun and interacts with fans. And kudos to you, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Barrowman's great, but I was kind of referring to the fact that it would be a comic book death. Like, he would come back later.
It's too soon to kill him. He just became Roz. You gotta wait until the end of the season for Damien Dark to kill him.
Well, the last pick, anybody can come back anyway, so.
It's true. And especially
all right, so there's
Damien.
There's Damien, who could be killed. All right, so we've got the death coming. So, Michael, who do you think?
Let me think. Well, they might be very well at Ray Palmer's funeral because they might think he's dead.
Well, I think that, they do think he's dead because we've seen the trailer that they renamed Starling City to Star City in honor of Ray Palmer. So, if that's early on, it could be from that. I was thinking, just because Jay's going to hate to hear it, that Quentin Lance is finally going to bite it.
No.
I hope not, but
I've said that before, and I think Jay almost traveled halfway across the country to kill me.
I'm sure he's going to do it now.
He's going to do that for you.
He's like spider sense tingling, and he is currently getting in his car and driving to West Virginia to come and punch me in the face.
Right. I can see him do that. No, don't you do that with Quentin. I think he's the only parent left, right?
Yeah,
No, Felicity's mom.
Oh, that's right. They won't kill her.
Yeah.
So,
and then, of course, the doctor's wife. She's still around.
So the other route they could go, and I don't think it's going to be, is they could be killing Caitlin to finally make her be Killer Ice or Killer Frost.
Maybe.
So that was a possibility.
Over on the Flash, yeah.
On the Flash, because it could be a crossover because it's both of them on there.
Well, it's got to be a crossover. You just don't know which show. Or maybe it's both.
It could be they start the funeral on Arrow in Flash, and then the next day on Arrow they finish the funeral. It's new crazy TV episode where we just saw a funeral between two shows, and that's all it is. It's game changing.
Super depressing.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to make me cry.
The crossovers last year, while great, it wasn't a continuation of the story. You could watch the one show and still be good with the one show. You wouldn't have to cross over.
Yeah.
So they haven't done the true 1-2. We're going to have all the cast on both shows yet.
Does it bother you guys that Flash is on first before Arrow in the week? It just bothers me. I don't know why.
It's where it is.
I know. It just I don't know. I feel like they earned the spot to be seen first, and it kind of in my head it puts Flash in front of Arrow. You know, makes them more popular. I don't know why.
Well, there is a thing too. I believe it was last year where Flash was a week or two behind.
Yeah.
Right.
In terms of how they were running in the season.
Debates.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's that too, where you have Arrow that's actually a week ahead. I don't know what the schedule is this year, but it's what it was last year. And don't forget, we've got Supergirl running this year as well. So, and that'll be Monday night.
That's another thing that bothers me.
Supergirl or Monday night?
Well, Monday in general. But I watched the pilot that leaked online, and I enjoyed it. But the whole Jimmy Olsen thing kind of upsets me.
Yeah, they talked about it extensively.
I know, but
on-
call me James. I'm not Jimmy. That's the line.
Well, it's a new realm of TV comic book shows. They can rewrite as they want, I guess.
Get out of here with that. That's what I say.
All right. So there's that. What other news point do you have, sir?
Let's see, what else did I have? Well, we know they're introducing a bunch of characters this year. We've already talked about some of that before. We know Jerry Ryan's coming in there as Jessica Danforth, a mayoral candidate. So a lot of people are theorizing, does this mean we're going to get Mayor Queen, like out of the comics?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. No, I think it's going to be her. I don't think it's going to be him.
Yeah, I don't think so either. They talked to Wendy Miracle. I always mess up her last name. One of the executive producers and showrunners now, about John Constantine coming in, and she said, to put it bluntly, he comes in because she's more dead. We needed someone to come in and basically resurrect her, being Sarah Lance, and bring her soul back. We were really thrilled that we're able to get Matt Ryan. He's the perfect character to do it. It's basically what they tried to pitch last season to bring him in, and it worked.
Well,
Makes sense.
I can't wait to get her back. It's going to be fun. And Thea too. I mean, the resurrection, the two girls are going to be messed up, especially since one killed the other. So it's going to be interesting.
Well, and you've got to figure Thea is probably going to be lesser messed up because she was only dead for minutes compared to Sarah, who was dead for months and was buried. And the Lazarus Pit really screws up people the longer they've been dead.
Little Megady. Yeah, we really didn't see the effects too much with Oliver and Thea that we should have.
So they hinted at that in a couple of the trailers, actually, that Thea's having issues. Well, I'm sure they'll clue us better into that as we go on in the show.
Thea can have all of the issues she wants. She's welcome in my house, except for when Felicity's here. Then Thea's got to go.
Oh, dear.
Well,
Unless they can learn to share.
Thea's getting kind of hot too, man. Listen, in every episode is Felicity with a skirt and Thea with a belly shirt.
Yes.
That was the theme.
Well, what's her name that played Hermione in Harry Potter?
Oh,
Emma
Watson.
Watson.
Yeah, Emma Watson. So it was like Hermione got hot, and like I keep on going back to that first Harry Potter movie when they're like 9. I'm like, oh my gosh, don't, no, I can't do it. Can't do it.
When we were online for Hall H 2 years ago,
yeah,
Stephen Amell and I forget the girl's name, the one who plays Thea, we're just walking by the line and they stopped and they took pictures with everybody and were talking about us and stuff.
Nice.
It was really cool.
That's cool. I mean, it seems like the entire cast of this show and The Flash are just incredibly fan-friendly.
They are. There's some people that aren't. You know, if you've been to Comic-Con, you know there's some people that go in to do their panels and get out, and that's all they want to do. And there's some people that are like living it up, and there's some people that want to mingle, and they know they can't because if they do, they'll never actually get off the floor.
That's true.
Yeah.
So and that's where your 3D cosplay printing can come in great because you can make them a mask of anything that they want.
That's it.
You can market your skills to the stars as concealment, and you could do it right there at the con, right?
That's
like,
very
hey,
true.
what do you want to be?
That's it. I'm gonna have to you write the pitch for me and
There you go. That's what SP's here for. He's good at that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not.
No, not at all. All right, so what do we got left? Is that it for this week?
Yeah, the rest of it was just pretty much scattered quotes they'd done from various interviews, but I think the biggest one to bring up was the Constantine thing, just because so many people are excited about that.
I know. It's what a great opportunity, right?
Now, do you think that if this sparks his character in the show, someone might turn around and be like, maybe we do need a Constantine show. You know, maybe we could do something.
I think you're more likely to see Constantine show up more in Legends of Tomorrow if it pulls off well on Arrow. I don't know if you'll get the Constantine show again, but if they can still have access to the character versus as a one-off thing, he would totally fit in Legends.
Yeah.
Especially if they're trying to make Legends focus on different groups throughout parts of the season and next season. He's a great fit there.
Did you guys see the making of Black Canary, how to bring Black Canary to life? Did you guys see that video?
No.
Going to put a link to it in the chat, and our buddy Adam, Black Adam, had tweeted us a few days ago, and he retweeted a Natalie Abrams tweet and said, "Watch the creation of the Black Canary." And so I'll put that in the show notes for you. And it is kind of amazing. So have fun watching that. All right. There's nothing else. We'll stick around after the credits, but this has been great having you, Michael.
Thank you.
And if anybody wants to get a hold of you and maybe have something printed or just see your stuff, where do they find you?
You can go to Facebook at Hero Complex Props or Instagram or Twitter at That Nerd Mike.
All right. Mr. Chris, do you have anything left?
I got nothing, man.
All right. So we'll be back next week for the final preseason 4 episode. Hopefully we will have at least one, if not two, of our other co-hosts around. And if not, Michael, you are always welcome back, sir.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
All right. So, at Roundtable Nerds, any last words?
Archer.
At That Nerd Mike.
Get Felicity pants.
A little bit more than one word, but okay.
Sorry.
And I can be found on Twitter at Stargate Pioneer. And I will go with Oracle. This has been.
This was the Starling Tribune. You can leave us feedback at GonnaGeek.com or check out our archive at StarlingTribune.com. Visit GonnaGeek.com for more podcasts. Music by Kevin MacLeod can be found at Incompetech.com. This podcast is not produced or maintained by the CW, Warner Brothers Television, CTV, or DC Comics. All characters, stories, and situations are the property of Time Warner. No infringement is intended. We will see you for the next episode of CW's Arrow.
We have a call-in. Marley is calling in, so we're going to let him in and see what he has to say about Arrow.
Hello, fellas.
How's it going?
What's going on?
I'm just a wee bit drunk and just dropping into people's streams randomly.
Oh, okay. do you watch Arrow? Are you a comic book fan at all?
I understand that as someone who uses the flattery and archery stare to defeat his foes.
So, who's your favorite comic book character?
My favorite, probably. I don't know because I've never read a comic book in my life.
What about from the movies?
The movies? Who's my favorite comic book character from movies? Is that what you're asking?
Yep.
Yeah, your favorite comic book movie.
I don't know because I don't know who's from the comics or not because I've never read a comic. No, but I do enjoy the superhero sort of theme that's going on with movie making at the moment. You know, I kind of enjoy the Marvel stuff, but I'm very aware that it's made for the masses. You know, it's not really like a niche thing. You know. There is a lot of comic book culture that sort of seeps through into sort of normal culture, you know. And speaking to people who know about comic stuff, I feel a wee bit ill-informed, let's say.
Well, there's a lot of great stuff around there, and I don't even know everything, so I've been enjoying it. Heck, I just saw the Astonishing X-Men motion comic for the first time this past week, so that was pretty cool. Well, thank you very much for dropping by. Really appreciate it, and... well,
sorry, dudes. I am totally wasted.
It's okay, man. It's Friday night. It's allowed.
Yeah, have fun, man.
Go read a comic.
Nice speaking to you. Enjoy your comic books. I will read one someday, and I'll think of you guys when I do.
Okay.
Well, we appreciate it.
Thanks.
Take it easy.
What headphones do you guys use? All right. This is something I know a little bit about.
Just a little bit.
Chris is sporting the Audio-Technica AT.M30X. They can be found regularly on sale for $70. They are a very good pair of headphones. I actually have a pair. I use them to cut the lawn with and listen to podcasts. I am wearing the Audio-Technica AT-M40X. They go for around $100, and they're a little bit better. And what I do like about these versus the 30s is it has a detachable headphone cord, and it has a different lengths of cord that you can use. I also have other headphones. First of all, let me grab these real quick.
He's got lots of headphones, is what it comes down to.
Well, these are my number one recommended studio monitoring headphones, the 40Xs. This has been many people's number one studio monitoring headphones for a long time. They're the Sony MDR 7506s. I like the Audio-Technica ones a little bit better because they're a little lighter and run a little cooler, but the sound from these are amazing as well. I also own the kind of the DJ style Audio-Technica headphones called the M50Xs, and they have a little bit more bass. They don't have quite a flat response. So that's kind of and they go for about $170. Now you can get all these on sale for a lot less than they actually go for, but you have to wait for the sale. So, hey, let me link you to something that might help you. But Chris, you like your headphones, right?
Yeah. They're better than the Sony earbuds I was using, that's for sure.
Oh man, aren't they great? And Naki, she has a pair of the 40s and she adores them, doesn't she?
The only problem with these headphones is my ears get hot after about an hour. So if you watch me podcast, occasionally you see me just go like that and tilt one headphone off an ear for a minute or two.
Normally I have my my Beats, but I don't have batteries for them right now.
Yeah.
But I do the same thing. I have to take one ear off because it just gets sweaty.
Yeah, the cans get pretty hot. So you see me doing that a lot.
So Kijin Sean, I put a link in the chat for what I found online to be a good recommendation for headphones, and you can see the variety of prices there as well. I would not recommend the lower end because they don't have great sound isolation. So the Sennheiser, they're great if you need a pair of cheap headphones, but they're not great for the sound isolation. Hey Jenny.
I'll put earbuds in. How you guys doing?
Great. How are you?
I'm great. It's Friday.
It is.
Thank goodness.
It's always better on Friday, right?
Oh, you're telling me.
So I had to laugh because I'm not wearing this T-shirt in your honor. I'm actually wearing this T-shirt because this is the geek that I am.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
And I was laughing because I actually had a geek roundtable today, Blab, with David Reed and a couple of the forum leaders who started GateWorld.net.
Yeah, right.
Because I worked with them starting in 2004, 2005. So I was on the Fox side. That's my background's TV production, and I got into online interactive in the 90s. And so I've been working with the studios on the entertainment side. That's what I do.
Very cool.
Working with the studios. So I work with the properties, the studios, essentially feeding my inner geek. So I've got, for the most part, I've worked with a lot of Fox properties, Dark Horse, IDW, and EA Sports. I did a lot of video games in the late 90s and early 2000s. So, but all digital. That's no development in terms of the games themselves, all content production and marketing, and games and apps for digital. So
nice.
But I've been digging your podcasts and loving the transfer over to Blab.
Yeah, Blab's been an incredible find, and I've really enjoyed it. It allows for a lot better interaction with the community, and I enjoy it a lot. Now, from the actual, if you're doing a well-produced video podcast, Blab just doesn't have it. If you need more than 4 people, Blab's not the place for you.
No.
Online. So it does have its limitations, but for our format here on Friday nights, unless we have a full house because we have 5 regular podcasters, we will probably be using Blab.
I like it. I think it's got like you said, it's got its area. It's got paths and opportunities that I think are great. What was surprising for me, because I've been on it, for about almost 6 weeks, was that I was really surprised the lack of entertainment television. For instance, we don't even have that opportunity as a identification tag. There's no TV.
I talked to the CEO about that, actually, because he started emailing me, and I said, look, here's my thoughts. I would like to have 6 people. He said, absolutely not, because people overrun each other. I said, I get that, but we won't be able to use it for a lot of the podcasts on the GonnaGeek network, because we do run into situations where we do have 5 people on. So that's not good. Another thing that I talked to him about was the tags. I said, put a science fiction tag in there. And he said, I just don't see a lot of that on there. I'm like, well, you build it, they will come, dude.
I know. And I talked to Furkan and wanted to have a TV one, that if we're going to go in that direction, and I can't get the specific geek or sci-fi or that area.
I asked for geek, I asked for television, I asked for sci-fi, I asked for 6 separate tags. And he said, I'll do the television one. And when I was setting this up, I'm like, where is it? I want it. Comic was another one. I wanted comic.
Well, obviously comic.
TV is a huge place where you could do this. A lot of people are doing those trends of doing like live reactions to watching stuff. And this, with the minimal delay, you could do like, hey, we're going to get all 4 people together and we're going to watch Arrow at the same time when it's on TV. And be roughly synced up and have live reactions, have people jump in and out. You could do things like that, which I think would be fun.
Here's the irony. So I went to my clients on the studio side and then to my friends that work on the digital agency side about probably 10, 20 days ago and said, look, I know it's last minute, but what if we did something as a first time, like a quote unquote Fox first or something, a CW first, and did a live viewing of one of the fall TV shows.
Oh, that'd be cool.
And we could get, honestly, we wouldn't get a lot of people because there weren't enough people on Blab yet, but it would be more of a PR thing. I couldn't get anybody to bite.
Would it be like a second screen thing, or would it be completely you have to do it?
No, I wouldn't do a second screen, just because the difficulties we found with the second screen in this type of setup is that you're better off using this truly as the community and the fans, where you're talking about what's happening, but you're not trying to do anything extra content or story extension. Although I've pitched that also from a separate standpoint. I think there's a lot that you could do with Blab to do story extension beyond just interviews and discussions. But in this case, it would just be a great, let's all watch TV together. Let's make it an event television.
Right.
And have some key people there at the same time, whether it's talent or behind the scenes, to talk about what's going on. And I just couldn't get anybody to bite for a variety of reasons. And I think it's too bad, because I think that there is a huge opportunity that isn't happening yet.
There is. I do another podcast on the GonnaGeek network called Voices Defiance, and it's about the sci-fi television show
about Defiance. Yeah.
And it was great this year, where we had a whole bunch of the actors and production crew from behind the scene actually approach us and say, hey, look, we want to come on the podcast. We asked about half, and half asked us. And I didn't know if it was a marketing ploy by them. I didn't care, because we just were having fun and wanted to talk to them. I will tell you from the Blab standpoint that half of them did not want to go live. Half of them wanted it pre-recorded, and they didn't know I was going to edit it. But I think word got around that I was editing it, and only I taken out like the stupid mistakes that I always make and that sort of thing. So why not do it for you? Well, when I interviewed the showrunner, Kevin Murphy, I said, look, this is a perfect opportunity for you to be in front of the fans live. And he said, oh no, we are not going live.
Now, I got the same thing. And it was interesting, because it wasn't just from the talent, because I actually expected, like, talking to Joe Malazzi for Dark Matters or something like that. He'd be up for it, because that's what he likes to do. But a lot of, and David Reed was talking to Martin Garrow about potentially doing, because they've been around for so long and they've done a lot of things like that, they're more comfortable. What I ran into on the studio side was the legal issues of what could be said, what could happen, what kind of trouble are we going to get in, what if somebody says something about the content before it's aired. So I understand that, and I get why they're coming from that. And then from the agency side, I understood. I was still frustrated with it, but I understood the agencies were waiting for the IP holders to come forward so that they weren't going to do anything that stepped, again, legally on an IP issue. And I get it. It's not that I didn't understand it. I'm just really surprised that an industry that usually has been one of the ones that helped push technology forward has really been stepping back and not being an early adopter right now.
Right.
And it's been interesting. I don't think that they're going to hold out. I think they'll step in when they think it's right and they've talked to the right people and figured it out.
Yeah, I got really good on Voices of Defiance, making sure that it didn't ask any questions that were probing in those ways. I just wanted to know about the past production. Did you have fun on the set? You know, those sorts of questions that we just wanted to know as fans from behind the scenes. It wasn't like the big reveal, like, oh, tell us what's happening.
Right.
You know, I want to enjoy the stuff as it's coming in. Now, I did ask, can you tell us anything about the future or whatever? Because some of them did. Some of them wanted to say, oh, wait for this episode or whatever. That the tease, quote unquote tease. But I, personally, my credibility is on the line. I want to make sure I steer clear of that stuff so that people aren't afraid to come back to me.
Well, then let me ask you guys, because this is one of the reasons why I like watching when you guys are on, is what do the two of you think from your standpoint, from your history, from the podcasts that you do that are very in-depth in many cases, but you've got that sense of it's going to be edited or it's going to come out later. Where do you think there is the place for entertainment and TV and comic books with Blab?
So most of the stuff I do is live, and we generally do studio audiences, but we use Google Hangouts on Air for most of those other things. So this is a way to get us better in sync with those audiences, which is why I really like Blab, and I'm thinking about moving some of my primary stuff to Blab instead of using Hangouts, is to help alleviate that problem.
That's interesting.
Because with Google Hangouts, it's incredibly difficult to get immediate fan interaction with the Hangouts. We do Hangouts in association with a chat room. We use Chatwing on our network. And so that works great. And then they go to our webpage, GonnaGeek.com/live, and that's all available there in addition to other audio streaming capabilities like Spreaker or Mixler or something like that.
Right.
Now,
it's funny because I haven't looked at those. I listened to your podcasts, but from a production standpoint, we've avoided Google Hangouts like the plague. We tried a couple with some of the family titles that we did, and they didn't work. It was just tanked in terms of a good PR event, in terms of just good interaction. It just didn't work.
Yeah, it had some great buzz early on, and then it tapered off really quick with Google Hangouts. Because I remember like Conan O'Brien was doing live Hangouts on Air and stuff like that, and that all tapered off. And now it's mostly a tool for podcasters, it seems like, and people that are wanting to just get online and have conversation, which you can also do with Blab now.
Yes.
So it's an interesting question. Have you seen the GonnaGeek main podcast video lately?
No, I haven't.
Go ahead, go to our YouTube channel, GonnaGeek, and see any of the latest GonnaGeek podcasts. They are produced podcasts, so it's a higher quality of video podcast, and it's edited and it's produced, it's switched, so you don't have just the standard 4 blocks coming at you or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll put the most recent one in the chat room in here. So it's
cool.
Is 113 up yet, or is it just 112?
That's what I'm looking to see right now.
We did an interview on 113 with a fellow blabber that we found on our very first Blab, didn't we, Chris?
Yeah, 113's online but hasn't been published yet, so it's just one. Steven's in the chat room chatting to us. The guy that runs the network is talking to us right now. He goes, it's just 112. But
just 112.
113 soon. I just put 112 though in the chat room here because he's been doing. Steven does a ton of production work on making things look good after we did.
Oops, sorry.
So that's one side of things. If they want the production value, it's not with Blab. It's with Google Hangouts on Air or Skype.
Twitch.
Or something,
Well,
so
Twitch, and we have a partnership. Well, Fox has a partnership deal with Twitch,
right?
So that's the way in general that they're going to tend to go with Awesomeness TV, with Twitch, with Machinima. So, in fact, Joe Epstein, who's over at Machinima, came from Fox and Warner Brothers. So they've definitely figured out how to make that cycle, that circle close that circle. But I still think that maybe it's from a fan standpoint then, because what you all are doing is, I think, great from the bottom up.
Yeah. So to fully answer your question, I had another thought as well.
Okay.
So if they want to treat this type of interaction like a con panel, and I don't know what kind of prep work they do for that. I don't know if they go through the studio seniors and say, okay, you can't say this, you can't say this. The Marvel guys seem to have it down with the Marvel snipers, so to speak.
Yeah.
But I think if they want to treat it like a con panel and say you've got something at Dragon Con or New York Comic Con or San Diego Comic Con, one of the biggies, this is great because some of the best hits on our YouTube channel have been the panel audios, because not everybody can make it to conventions. It's either time or money or whatever, but they're really interested in seeing it. So if you can take video, and some cons allow it and some don't, some people allow it and some don't. So it's all dependent on place and location and people. But for the ones that you can actually go to, that you can actually videotape, and if you have the equipment to get good audio in addition to video, audio is more important than video, I would say. Then you put that on YouTube and it works great. I would say the same thing here with Blab. If it's not, because like, for example, with Kevin Murphy, when I interviewed him, it was through his laptop mic, and I'm like, oh, okay, what are you gonna do?
You take what you can get there.
Yeah,
right.
But I'm like, if I would have known, I would have sent you a $40 microphone.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
But and there's the whole thing. Do you trust the podcaster to send you something to your home address too? There's that whole thing as well. I played that game before.
I bet you guys have run into that a lot. I know that we run into it with talent all the time, and we're representing the studio and we run into it. So
right. So I think if you portray it like that, like this is your if you strategically let some stuff got out. And that I will say as well, even with Blab, it's going to take me a day or two to actually post this on YouTube, because I'm going to edit it a little bit and I'm going to make it look a little bit prettier, and I'm going to make sure the audio sounds good, and I'm going to put it out. Now, Chris, you do a little bit different thing with ATGN though.
That's because, in part, that's because I don't want to do the video editing, so I generally just leave the YouTube video up there raw from the Hangouts on air, and then I take the audio out of that and edit it for the podcast and cut out things. And sometimes, well, now I do all the bumps in line with the show. It used to be I would edit in the bumps and stuff for transitions, but for the most part, I like to leave the live video as the live video.
So the reason I brought that up is because if you're in a strategic spot in the season, and you want to do that sort of interview, that con panel sort of interview with the masses or whatever, and you want it out before the next episode comes out, maybe in a strategic 2-week spot or whatever, there's going to be a delay, because you're talking about people that don't do this for a living. I mean, I will devote all my free time to try to get that out if it's that big of an interview. But I'm not. I can't miss work. I mean, I can for a day.
I need work to be able to afford this hobby.
Yeah, I mean, this is a hobby for us. We don't get paid for this. I mean, I pay money to do this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, not Blab, but I pay for my own mics. I pay for my own media hosting, the website. That's all money that comes out of my pocket, and I have none coming in.
Right. So it's out of love.
Exactly. That's what it is. We do this because we're hopelessly addicted to it, because we have fun with it and we love it.
Well, and that's, I've been lucky enough that there's that part of my life that I'm the geek and the nerd that loves it, and it's passion. So I love watching you guys, or downloading the podcast, or just being part of it and going to the cons. I'm lucky enough that my career allowed me to have access to it, to work with it and to be with it. But when I try to marry those two, sometimes there's definitely a resistance or a lot of challenges to that, of how that can happen and where it can happen. So I think you guys do a great job.
Well, thank you. We're always trying to get better.
Just a little bit.
Well, I'm going to sign off because my connection is telling me that I'm down to 2 or 3 bars right now.
Well,
so
thank you for coming on. And actually, if you don't mind, we'll probably prod you for maybe a GonnaGeek appearance later.
Oh, for sure. Would love to. It'd be fun.
That'd be great.
And anytime. I love to come in on your blabs also. So peace and have a lovely weekend.
Thanks.
Okay,
you
too, Jenny.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye. Nice to meet you guys.
What else you got going on, Michael?
A whole lot of A.T.O.M. That's it, man.
Are you going to spend tomorrow sanding?
I am, and then Sunday I have a Halloweenish party that another podcast
Already?
invited me to.
That's cool.
We're starting already?
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, they're filming music videos because they're also a band within their network. So it's like a Halloween theme thing. So
Michael, I didn't ask you this. Okay, so this has been our Blab question. So you can go ahead and answer it, and then David, you can answer it too. So name your all-assassin band for the Verdant Club.
what is that?
Yeah, I don't
The
know.
nightclub on Arrow.
DC Comics
Oh,
assassins that will play in Thea's club in Arrow.
Oh,
So Wing chose Deathstroke as his lead singer, which I thought was a terrible idea because he doesn't have a voice. Jonathan Lobster, he picked he picked the ladies up front.
I was just gonna say I'll pick an all-girl group because I want to see them on stage on wearing tight clothes.
That's the way Lobster went, and I think he's got it.
Love video.
Yeah, that's it.
It reminds me of my middle school days when you'd watch MTV so you could push mute for the Britney Spears video.
That's it. Even Iris, throw Iris in there too.
Hey, when is the movie for the one of the Joker, Harley? Oh my God, now it's like
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. When is that one coming out?
Early 2016, I think.
So we probably around February. Usually that's when they release
Yeah.
them.
Let's see if I can find it.
February is where January and February is where the studios dump movies off the dime.
No, I lied. Google says August 5th, 2016 for Suicide Squad.
That's
Oh,
the
so is that
Ant-Man
the end of the
slot.
summer? Okay,
Yeah.
for the end of the summer.
See,
The Guardians of the Galaxy, the Ant-Man slot. Yeah.
they promote their stuff way too early.
Yeah, I don't
Oh, they
disagree.
I'm still waiting for them to keep on pushing the Superman versus Batman movie.
Yeah.
Okay, let's push it back again.
Need more Batman. Push it back.
I'm Batman.
So on Sunday I'm going to be Deadpool.
Oh, sweet.
Really?
Yeah,
That'd be
I
fun.
3D printed. I know a guy who's making the mask, and he's making interchangeable eyes for different expressions.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So part of my pay was he sent me a free mask with the finished eye pieces.
I hate you.
Nice.
Super cool, man.
I'm your new best friend.
If you guys
Hero
want to see
Complex.
it, I'll run inside. I'll grab the mask if you want to check
Yeah,
it out.
go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
hold on.
ahead. Yeah.
Hold on a second.
If you want to see all his stuff, go to facebook.com/Hero Complex Props.
I'll put it in the chat here in just a sec. I gotta finish something up real quick.
He's got a lot of cool
I gotta
stuff.
also put you in contact with a good friend of mine. He's the guy actually who did all the glass work for like the door handles and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
This guy basically he's gone as far as contacting people to make custom statues for him.
Oh wow.
He has
Nice.
he has. Let me see if I can find it because I haven't been to it. Did you see the latest? Go to this link. The latest maquette that Sideshow came out with for Two-Face.
Oh god, sideshow, which means I'm gonna
Jenny-
want it. That's the
Jenny,
problem.
for the band, you can put anybody in there. It doesn't have to be villains. It's just the key was assassins, and the reason why was because the DJ thing wasn't working out last year because the DJ died. So we're thinking that this year the club is going to be nice mask.
Oh, that is well done. Wow.
They also have
Oh.
a penguin. If you
Good
do a
boy.
search for a penguin, they got like the old penguin, like the 1980s, probably 70s penguin.
That's awesome. You
So they
guys
got a
are making me
sideshow
spend more money.
How hot is that? That's what I want to know.
It's not that bad. And the way he did it was the
Oh, shit.
eyes are magnetized, so you just pop them right off. I got
Oh, that's awesome.
Cool.
gotta have a hole here, but I have the other expressions in the bag and just pop them right in, bam.
That
I
is
need that.
wicked.
I need that for Halloween.
Yeah, I'll send you guys a link of his
Yeah.
page.
Let me go show you what this guy he's on Facebook.
Because that would be an easy costume to do. Just get a long sleeve red thermal and red pants and
Well, since it's on such short notice, I'm gonna be Deadpool in a suit.
Yes, because that's what I see a lot of cosplayers doing is they can do the Deadpool mask with the suit because he's done that a few times in the comics and things.
Yeah, Cajun Sean in the chat said, "To hell with the Suicide Squad. I want to see Deadpool." Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's gonna be
I
great.
think everybody wants that. Yeah.
Gotta look for his.
That's for the demo.
That one surprises me how much I've enjoyed everything I've seen. Is for the Deadpool trailer and the movie coming. I'm like, give me now.
Yeah, at Comic-Con, everyone went crazy, and they said that the studios actually didn't interfere at all. They let them do whatever they wanted.
That's great.
It's gonna be pretty cool.
Isn't like tomorrow like Batman Day or some crap like that?
International Batman Day is tomorrow, yeah. So like Comixology's got over 1,000 different issues of Batman on sale for 99 cents a piece. Everyone's doing Batman stuff all over.
Don't forget, next Wednesday is International Podcast Day, September 30th. Yeah.
Huh.
There's going to be a lot of podcast stuff going on. Just go to internationalpodcastday.com and you'll see a lot of the people that have scheduled. But more often than not, just go to your favorite podcast and they'll have something going on. I'm actually going to be recording that night, so it's all cool. Legends of S.H.I.E.L.D. The day after the premiere episode. It's going to be so cool. New boss. It's a new boss. I know this is an Arrow podcast, but yay, new boss.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey
just
there.
fine. Those earbuds have wonderful microphones.
Oh, good.
They do. I mean, if you don't have a chance to get any sort of other high-powered microphone headphones, the earbuds are the best you can get for the price.
Good to know.
Yeah. So you have this app. You are an app coder, right?
No, I didn't code it actually. I created the idea, and I'm working with a company that's helping me build it called A.T.O.M.
Okay.
So it's currently just over 6 weeks old.
Yeah.
So, and like you guys were looking on the website, but we have 19 cities listed currently and only growing from there. So.
Is it on iTunes?
Yes, it's on iTunes and on Android. So.
Windows?
Not yet. We'll get
Not
there.
a tile yet? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one that I haven't hit up yet, but we will someday. Soon.
Well, good luck there. That was my big disappointment when I got a Surface RT tablet. I'm like, there's no apps. This sucks.
Yeah, no. The company I'm with right now, like I said, A.T.O.M. Just isn't releasing through Windows right now, so. But.
Yep. So is it a paid app? Or is
No,
it free?
it's absolutely free. You just download it.
It's free.
There you go. That's it. Thank you.
What's it called again?
Nerd Out.
Nerd Out
just like my name up here. So it's
Just like
nice
your
to
name.
meet
What's your real name?
Michelle.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Michelle. I'm SP.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah. So, wow, this app is great.
Thank you.
And since we got New York Comic Con coming up, I will definitely tell everybody that I know that's going there. We actually have a big presence on the GonnaGeek network up in New York. So,
Oh, awesome. I'm actually from New York, so I live in Los Angeles now, though.
I was born in New York, and I hate the traffic in LA.
Everybody does. You're not alone.
I used to go out there for work twice a week or twice a month, and I would fly into LAX, and then I would have to drive up to the north side of town. So the 405 and me, it almost got so bad that I wanted to buy a helicopter and just screw it. But
it can get pretty bad, but right now, luckily, I'm only a couple miles from my work, so I can avoid the freeways entirely and just drive side streets. So
when you guys had that, what was it called? The Freeway Armageddon or whatever?
Oh, yeah, Carmageddon.
Carmageddon. Yeah. So a high school classmate of mine, Joe Quitter, was actually the project manager for that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had seen him like 2 weeks after that. I'm like, what are you thinking? And he's like, well, I mean, we did this analysis and it was either closing down X number of lanes for like a year and a half or just do it all in 2 days. I'm like, yeah, but it's the 405. You don't shut down the 405. He's like, dude.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, no, I had heard to the point that people were like literally staging like dinner parties on the freeway. They would like bring their stuff with them and set up dinner there because they're like, well, it's closed down anyway. Of course, like the police would find them and kick them out, but they would do it for fun.
It would have been a fun time to film Fear of the Walking Dead.
Yes. They were just a couple of years too late.
That's right. Okay, so you're out in LA and you've got this app in 19 different cities. Is that right?
Yeah, like I said, 19 different cities, and like I said, we're only about 6.5, maybe 7 weeks out. So we're just adding cities by demand. So like if somebody tells me, I really want it in Tallahassee, and I hear it from a couple of different people, we'll look into Tallahassee. So it's all by demand right now, where people are telling me they want it. So I mean, we've got people from. Go ahead.
Are the Twin Cities on there?
No, not yet. Do you want to put that one in there? Okay, I'll add it to our list.
I don't live there, but I grew up there, so that'd be nice.
Our newest addition was St. Louis, so.
St. Louis before Minneapolis. Okay.
There was more requests for St. Louis. So.
Well, you now have an official request from Minneapolis and St. Paul.
Okay.
But you got the guy that I told you about. I mean, I gave you the site. I think I gave you the link to the site, right?
Yeah, you did.
No. I'm telling Michelle.
No, I went and followed them. I think I sent them a tweet today. I believe I sent a couple people a tweet.
Okay.
So I will reach out again if I don't hear back by Monday. So.
No, because I know they have like something coming up probably the week before Halloween. That anime one is coming up. He does two. One is the Super Con that he calls it, and he's doing the anime now and again right before Halloween he does that one.
Yeah, and that was in Florida, right?
Right, Miami.
Okay. I will mark it down. We're not in Miami yet, but that one's actually starting to get a couple different requests. So.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
I am the Oracle, and this is your Tribune.
And your reporters for this penultimate. I am really rusty. And your reporters for this penultimate. I keep on wanting to say summer. This is great. This is wonderful. And you know what? I'm going to start from the beginning.